Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to get pumped for the reading rush. And how I am going to do that is I want to decide today what book I am going to start tomorrow, or really like maybe at midnight, for the reading rush. I've already shared my TBR with you, so I will go over it really quickly again with you. But if you want more TBR info, head over to that video. But I'm going to read a chapter of every single one of the books on my TBR to decide which book I want to read first. Before we get started, I want to say that Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid is probably going to be the first one that I read. Just because she's my favorite author and I'm ready to be wrecked. So I'm definitely going to be reading this along with the other ones, and maybe one of the other ones will like strike my fancy first, but it's probably going to be this one. We shall see. But I want to give all of the books a fair shot. I'm going to be reading them in order from the longest chapter to the shortest chapter, and I'll go through it really quickly with you. Okay, so the first book I'm going to be reading a chapter of is Save the Date by Morgan Matson. Next up is The Names They Gave Us by Emery Lord. Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake. Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And then last but not least, The Complete Cheese Sweet Home Part 4. So I also realized a couple of things during this. The first thing being that The Complete Cheese Sweet Home has 5 or more words in the title. So I could read this for that challenge. And also I went ahead and marked all of my books where the first chapter is with that little orange tab. So if you see those orange tabs sticking out, that's what that is. And also in Save the Date, I was marking them last night for the first chapter where it was, so where I would read to. And this one is 33 pages because it actually has like a, let's see. It starts off with this little comic, and then it has like a part, and I was like, oh my gosh, the font is so small. But as I was flipping through the rest of the novel, I was like, well, it seems like regular size. So I kept flipping, and it actually has another comic, and it says Friday, and then it says chapter 1. So I want to read all of that up until, you know, I get to chapter 2. So it's 33 pages long. And since the Complete Cheese Sweet Home doesn't have chapters per se, I'm going to read the first story, which is number 165, A Cat's Guides. So I'm going to read this one, and also because I have to read one of these books in the same spot for the entire readathon, like until I finish that book, I need to read it in that spot. I have decided that I'm going to take all of these books back to my bedroom, crawl in bed, and start reading the first chapter, so that that's going to be the place that I will read an entire book. I wanted to do it at the beach, but for this tag I didn't feel like lugging all of these books there. I thought about doing it back here on the couch, but then I was like, what if I get sick? What if I'm not in the mood to sit back here? And my bed is like a place I go to 9 times out of 10 to read. So I figured I'll just carry these back here, pick them up one at a time, read the first chapter, see what I think, pick which one I'm going to start with tomorrow, and I'm going to report back with the results. Okay, I officially read the first part in the first chapter of Save the Date by Morgan Matson. The first part was a little confusing because I knew this was about a wedding, and the first part, like, they have those comics and I didn't really know what that meant. And the first part, or the first little section, I was like, how does this connect to the story? And I really don't know whose perspective it's from. I don't know if it's from Charlie or if it's Lenny, or is that even her name? I do like that they have a character list yeah, Lenny. I do like that they have a character list right here, and the comic is actually Charlie's mom, Eleanor Grant, has been, I guess for like a really long time, maybe 25 years, has been doing this comic strip, and she's actually stopping now that like the kids are grown, they're moving out of their house. So Good Morning America is going to be coming to their house to like interview her and stuff like that. But also, I guess all the siblings are kind of spread out. There are different colleges and stuff like that. And they're finally all coming together at the house for Lenny's wedding, because Lenny, since she was a little girl, always wanted to get married at the house. But now they've put their house up for sale, and so they had to like rush and, you know, throw this wedding together. And I think her brother paid for a wedding planner, and now they have the wedding planned and everybody's like coming in. But it seems like the story's going to be told through the eyes of Charlie. Going to be one last weekend together before the parents sell the house. And so far I like it, but it's not like super pulling me in. Also, her best friend Siobhan has 2 dads, and she's going to a school in Michigan, I think. And yeah, that's all I really kind of know right now. Not too much to go on. Okay, I just finished the first chapter of The Names They Gave Us by Emery Lord, and this one packed quite an emotional punch. The first chapter is the main character, I don't really remember her name, Lucy? Think it is Lucy, and so she's at prom with her boyfriend Lucas, and she's saying like how they met and all of that. And I guess her mom had cancer, but then she like it was in remission, and during prom, as she's leaving, her principal says something to her that gives her this uneasy feeling. So she calls home before she heads to like the after prom party or whatever, and she gets a sick feeling in her gut, and she goes home and finds out that her mom's cancer is back and that she's having a operation on Monday, a mastectomy. So this one definitely is packing the feels. Yeah, very emotional first chapter. Okay, next up I read the first chapter of Girl Made of Stars, and this chapter was really short. It was only 6.5 pages, so it's not a lot to go on, but this is about twins Mara and Owen, and Mara is bisexual. Her girlfriend Charlie says, right now with my best friend turned girlfriend turned ex-girlfriend, and then later on it does say that she's bi. But I guess they're not speaking for some reason, and Owen and Mara are going out with their friend, I forget his name already, but I think it's interesting that the names, I'm like getting confused because I'm reading so many books back to back, but not much to go on with this one. So I read the first chapter in Fix Her Up, and this was another contender for probably a book that I would want to read right away. And the first chapter was like 9 pages and a little bit on top of the 10th page, like just this little bit, so like 9 pages. And it actually was really interesting, like right from the get-go. I like the font size. I like the little font for the chapter headers. And in this one, let's see, Georgette goes into the apartment of, I guess, her brother's best friend. I don't know. She's known him for a long time. Travis Ford. He's this rookie baseball player that got injured, and now he's out of the league. And she goes into his apartment to kind of see for herself. And when she gets there, he's laying naked, face down in the bed. So she takes, and I couldn't believe this. I was like, I would be so freaking pissed if someone did this to me. But I guess the apartment is trashed, and she finds this not empty, melted container of ice cream, and she throws it at him, and it like talks about like it melting and stuff like that. Georgie reared back and threw the full container of melted dessert at Travis's naked back. I am like, holy crap. And then he kind of comes to, and Travis's snort sent Georgie back out into the living room. She towed open a bag of Chinese food, confirming the lack of vermin, before extricating the lo mein one step into the room, and she let it fly. The noodles and rotten chicken raining down on her brother's oldest friend. I would be so pissed if someone did that to me. Oh my god. But of course I don't have like melted ice cream and like nasty ass Chinese food laying around, but she's kind of like saying like, what the hell, get over it, life's not over. Yeah, and she's clearly attracted to him. Georgie left Travis standing in the filth looking like he'd been struck by lightning, and he hadn't seen the last of her either. So that's that one. I am interested in it. I like where it's heading. I like that it shows the attraction right off the bat. It's already doing some things that I'm like, holy crap, would that really happen? So that's the first chapter of this. I have 3 more books to try the first chapter of. Let's dive in. Okay. This one was really intense. I read Taylor Jenkins Reid Forever Interrupted, and it was like 8 pages. 8.5 pages. Wow, this one started off with a bang, and I told you guys the premise of the story in my TBR, but I'll do that here so I can kind of like tell you the first chapter. So basically these people meet and they're newlyweds, and 9 days after they elope, Ben is out riding his bike when he's hit by a truck and killed on impact, and that's exactly what the first chapter was. Piece of fuzz. Okay, so in the first chapter, they're like sitting on the couch, being all cute, and Elise suddenly, I guess they're massaging each other's feet, which so cute. And they're talking about their name and, you know, stuff like that, and it's just so adorable. And then Elise gets a sudden, like, she wants some Fruity Pebbles, and he says, well, I'm gonna go get you some, and she's like, no, you don't have to do that. And he's like, no, I'm gonna do it. So he goes and gets his bike and his like helmet, his gloves, and his shoes and all that, and he's like headed out, and she just is like, best husband ever, you know. And he's gone for like a long time. I think she said like 30 minutes, and she starts getting worried, like, so she starts calling his cell phone and he's not answering. And of course, like, she's thinking like, did he run into a friend? Is he caught up in traffic? Like, what's going on? So she goes outside looking up and down the street, nothing. Like, she's totally confused. Like, where could he be? What's taking so long? And then she hears a siren and she knows immediately. So she runs down the street. She sees the ambulance, and she sees this moving truck over on its side, and underneath, at first she sees like glass broken on the road, and then she notices the Fruity Pebbles on the road. Nice touch as writing, but like my heart hurt. And then she sees his bike twisted up beneath the moving truck that's on its side, and the ambulance is like taking off, and she's like, is my husband in there? And she's freaking out, and she's trying to get past this like marked off area, and there's a police officer, ma'am, and yes, lo and behold, I think Ben, is that his name? Yeah, Ben was killed on impact. And I guess he's taking her to the emergency room, and it's just so tragic. Ugh. Like, my heart just felt for her so much, because I can't imagine. I can't imagine. So that was the first chapter of that. Pretty dang intense. Okay, I just read the first chapter of Pride and Prejudice, and it was only... like this much. It was this page right here, this, and this. And every time I try to read this book, I am reminded why I never have and why I don't read classics a lot. It's just not my thing. I know that some people love it and the language and, you know, the beauty of the writing. It's just so hard for me to personally read. And I know people are going to say that's because I'm stupid and, you know, whatever. And they can say whatever they want in the comment section down below. I really don't care. But when I read things like, I don't know if this is the best sentence, but however little known the feelings or views of such a man may be on his first entering a neighborhood, this truth is so well fixed in the minds of the surrounding families that he is considered as the rightful property of someone or other of their daughters. So that just, I don't know. And this one, this is just a simple little sentence. Do not you want to know who has taken it? It's just so... I wish it was redone because I know the story is good, but the writing is like, I don't know. So literally, I don't know about this. I don't know if I should just get rid of it or just keep it, or I don't know what I should do about this. And I'm almost thinking of changing my book to movie adaptation. Although I do want to watch the adaptation, I don't know if I can do the book, you guys. My backup book, I do have a backup book, and I actually have 2 backup books. I don't know what I'm going to do. You're going to have to watch my vlog or follow me on Twitter and Instagram to see what happens. But love this book, love the story idea, love the cover, but the writing is just not something that I can do. Okay, I'm here with my last chapter check-in. I read the first chapter in the Complete Cheese Sweet Home Part 4. I think in other videos I say volume, but I know it's like part because there's different volumes within this part. However, I read the first chapter and I absolutely loved it. I just think these cats are so freaking adorable, and I just need more. This is just like such a happy story, and it's told from the perspective of cats, so it's so great. It makes me miss my cat though, but anyway, yeah, so I think I'm definitely gonna read this like for sure during the readathon because it should go very quickly. And the other ones that like really piqued my interest just from the first chapter were obviously these 2. So these 3 books really piqued my interest right from the first chapter. I don't know which one I'm going to start first. I think I'll go ahead and start these 2 first because this is something that I could read like a couple, you know, chapters of, or like a volume of, and then be reading this as well. And it's different enough of a story that like I won't get confused or anything like that. And then after I finish these, then I'll probably jump into Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey, because this also had a really good first chapter. And then from there, I'm not really sure which direction I'll go. I'll just see which challenges I have left and go from there. I'll also decide if I want to change up my book to movie adaptation pick. But that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're all having a lovely day. Tomorrow starts the reading rush, and I'm so excited because I'm going to start with this stuff. See you guys again later on in the week. I have a review going up. I have an announcement about Read-A-Rama going up. And the week after that, after the reading rush is over, I'll put up a vlog. And yeah, I'm just really excited. Bye guys.